start streaming. Let's see what happens.
Rebel.
What a rebel, yeah. Should cry more, more, more.
How was your steaks?
Not bad. A little fatty for my taste. I like a lean steak.
What kind of cut was it?
Ah, whatever Stop and Shop had. I don't know. I don't do the grocery shopping. I think it was like probably just a strip. Wasn't a sirloin, wasn't a prime rib. I think it's just a strip steak.
Okay.
Nothing too special. So, welcome to Big Box Weekly, episode 10. Double digits, baby.
Woo! Get on
And like
going.
a quarter of the time it took us to get to 10 episodes of GNL shows, so that's a plus.
That is, yes.
We're doing things.
I'm not gonna.
Not gonna go there?
No.
Okay. I'm not either. I just wanted to at least bring it up and address it. So, how are you today, Tim? Seeing as you are a father and it was your day.
Oh, yes. Yeah. My day.
So,
Yeah,
how much work did you have to do for those around you today?
Actually, I went down. Me and Xander went down and saw my dad, and I did homework.
Nice.
Does that count?
I guess. I don't know. But
I
did
just
you
got
do it
kicked-
for you?
Well, I guess I did it for school. I got kicked for idling too long. I wasn't even idling for 3 minutes.
Yeah, GTA is weird about that. It is. So, I know I've had a freaking weird week, and I know you've had a freaking weird week, so do you want to start?
Yeah, because I think yours is more interesting, so I'll get mine over with.
No, I'll give you that, man. My week has definitely been interesting.
So I had
Oh,
Monday and Tuesday. I had a training in another town, so I spent a couple of nights in a hotel,
And he had air conditioning at said hotel.
I had air conditioning in the house, and I had the thermostat set at 63, and it was glorious.
Mm-hmm.
And then I came home, and it turned hot,
It stopped being
and-
glorious.
and it stopped being glorious, and my air conditioning in not only my house but my car took a shit.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that both went bad.
Yeah. So
That's
That
not a
was-
good
I-
thing.
no, I can't sleep when I'm hot. And last night it was 82 in my damn house.
Yeah, at least you see, I live like at least so at my house, I don't live right on a lake. There's like a row of houses and a road between me and the lake, but I still
Okay.
get the breeze coming off the lake because my windows in my room are facing the lake. So even when it's really hot, like I can usually get away with opening a window and like just pointing a fan at me.
Oh, okay.
So I agree though. I can't sleep when it's hot. I just can't. My freaking pillow gets all wet and sweaty and it's gross.
Yes.
Gross, man.
So then today it was much better. I mean, the high I think got it up to 74, but it was the wind was from the north. So
We had like 80% humidity today. That was awful.
yeah, that's what we had the other day. So
I
yes,
was out working in the garage today.
I
We have
don't think I would have done
we
that.
have a tarp garage, so that was real bad. It was hot. It's a dark
That would be,
green
yeah.
tarp garage. It was hot. I was doing some stuff on the boat per the request of my dad, so
Ah,
yeah, he wanted me to hook up a new transducer for the sonar and stuff, and you know my motto, ain't no kill like overkill, so
I've actually never heard you say that before, but all right.
I've only said it a few times, only in situations where it actually really applies.
Gotcha.
Um,
Gotcha.
Like I'm pretty sure, like for example, when it comes to like faceting things together that I don't want to ever come apart, ain't no kill like overkill. Use 3 times the fasteners required.
Gotcha.
If it's
Okay.
not weight sensitive or cost sensitive, ain't no kill like overkill.
I can kind of get behind that. I like if one is good, 20 is better. So
I mean, do I need a 16 thread CPU? No. Was my 4-core CPU doing just fine for everything I was doing? Yes. But ain't no kill like overkill. Do I need
Yes.
32 gigs of RAM? No. Do I have it? Yes. Just like, did you need a R9 295 X2 back when that card was relevant? No. Did you get one? You sure as hell did.
Yes, that was not going to be with us a whole lot longer either.
I know. I know. You're having problems with that system. And
So I went to do a reset.
yeah.
So I wiped, everything. You know what that is.
Yep. A wipe and reload.
Hoping that it would help, and
It did no such thing?
did not. So
That's
I got the
unfortunate.
clearance to go ahead and buy that one. So.
Yep. And that's all we're going to say about that. But there is a funny side to that. But we're not going to mention anything incriminating on stream.
No, we're good.
Yep, we're good. So, yeah. And then was it this week the shower fall?
The shower fall.
Your shower fall? Is that this week?
Oh yes. So our bathtub / shower is just typical, fiberglass tub, and
yeah, your standard thing.
Yeah, standard. Well, I kind of fell in it and broke that, so I have to
Oh Jesus!
get a new bathtub / shower.
I didn't realize you broke it.
Yeah.
I
I'm a
guess
big dude.
that's what happens when us big dudes fall over. We break things.
Yeah.
Luckily, I feel you on that. You didn't break anything on
myself.
yourself, so that's
No,
good.
I can't
I would
really.
imagine you were stiff as hell for a day or two, though.
I was a little sore the next day. Yeah. So Mindy is going tub shopping tomorrow, and shower shopping.
So was it like actually like a standalone unit, or was it kind of like an older type of unit with a liner on it? And you broke the liner. Because our tubs are like, I think they're actually a metal tub, but it's like the do-in-place tub liner type of thing on them.
No, it's definitely
we
nothing
have.
metal in it.
Oh. You could tell by the thud sound.
Yeah.
No,
I think
twang.
if I had waited a little bit more, I might have went through it.
Jesus.
It was a fall, man.
Older
It made a hell
tub,
of a
or?
Well, I bought this house is. If I were to guess, I would say that the tub was probably from the late '80s.
Damn.
So
it had a
90s.
good run, just like your
Yeah.
central air system.
Just like my central air, which is from 1987.
And
too.
your car air conditioner.
My car air conditioner got replaced. That was significantly cheaper than what my central air is going to be.
I would imagine so. I've had to go that
Yeah.
route before, where the compressor in my old minivan went out on me. Unfortunately, I ended up replacing that pretty shortly right before I sold the car and bought a new one.
Oops.
I had also put new tires on it.
Tires are important, though.
Yeah, it was getting to the point with that though that like every fix was, one more expense, and it was getting higher and higher and every time. Like the first fix I had to do was like $500. Next one was like $900. After that it was like a $1,500 repair, and I was like, I'm getting rid of this thing.
Before it starts nickel and diming you.
Right? Well, because it was my grandfather's, and then he got declared legally blind, so they took his license.
Yeah, they'll do that.
So I got the vehicle from him, but the problem is between when he was declared legally blind and when I got my license or my permit, it was sitting there in the middle of the driveway, not going anywhere in New England winters for like a couple of years, and that's hard on a car.
That's very hard. Yeah.
You'd never ever, like, pro tip, you're buying your first used car, like, you're 17 years old, you're trying to get a car for like $1,500. Go with the one that has the shit ton of miles that at least has been driven recently.
Yeah. Because the brakes aren't going to lock up on you, and the tires, they may be bald, but at least they're not, structurally fucked.
Yeah. So, you end up having to spend a couple $100 more on tires. You can actually, there's places where you can get used, but like relatively good condition tires. I don't recommend it, but I know people who have bought used tires and don't have a problem with them. I would never buy used tires.
No, that's playing Russian roulette, man.
I also don't buy cheap tires either. I'm also in the weird boat of when I go out to buy tires, I'm like, $800 for 4 tires? All right, sounds reasonable. Like, I buy good tires because I like not having my vehicle fishtail in the snow, and the factory tires on the car I have in fact cause me to fishtail in light snow. So I went out and bought, snow tires or all season tires from Yokohama. So
I have
quality
Generals on.
stuff. I think I had. I don't even remember what brand the tires were on my vehicle. They were cheap. They were just not very good. Tread on them wasn't very aggressive. They were just, nope, not very good. Tim has a visitor, I think.
I do, yes.
He thinks he has a visitor.
The timing is impeccable.
Always.
We're doing Big Bucks Weekly. What's up?
I know you're doing Big Bucks Weekly.
Okay.
So, I'm gonna see how bad my ping is on CS:GO,
Okay.
and for that I will determine if you play CS:GO with me.
Okay.
You heard
I'm
it
sorry.
here first, folks.
Yes.
CSGO
Yes.
ping. It's important.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, don't buy used tires. And if you're going to buy a used car, ideally you go for low mileage, but like get the one that's at least getting driven around.
Yeah.
Don't get the one that spends its winters sitting in a driveway. Unless you're in
Yeah.
California, then could go either way. I still wouldn't get the one that's been sitting around though. More problems.
Right.
And always, 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 if it's drum brakes, check them for acorns. Squirrels like to make nests in drum brakes.
You heard it here first.
Well, it's like on the three-wheeler that we had out there. It was in the shed for a couple of years. And the chipmunks freaking loved the drive assembly. It was jam-packed of nesting materials and acorns. And
Really?
I had to like freaking disassemble the whole thing, clean it out before we could even get it to run again. I also had to replace all the... Another thing you don't think about, vehicle's been sitting around a while, hasn't had fluid going through its lines, they are susceptible to dry rot.
Okay.
You don't want to find out that you have a brake line bad when you're driving.
No, that's a bad time to find that out.
Or a fuel line. That's not as bad as a brake line, but it's still not good.
No.
Don't want to find those things out.
No, you don't.
All right. So, yeah, I'm
So
trying.
what happened? What happened with
Let's
you, sir?
start from the beginning of the week. I woke up Monday after the last Big Box Weekly at about 6:30 or about 6 in the morning. I was planning on getting to work late that day. I would normally be leaving at 6. But I had some things going on Sunday night that led to me not getting to sleep till about 3 in the morning. That's a story that will never be shared. That was not good. But so I ended up going to bed at like 3. I woke up at 6, and I was like, oh, I got at least 3 hours of sleep, so whatever. And my boss is pretty much okay with the fact that, give an honest 8-hour day, as long as you're in there between like 6 and 8 in the morning, though, you're fine.
Right.
So it's not like a set schedule. So I was like, I can sleep in a little bit and just go to work later. So I left for work at 6:30 that morning. By 6:45, my day had gone to shit.
That didn't take long.
No, it didn't. I've been
That
awake
didn't
for
matter.
45 minutes. So, let me set the stage here. Actually, let me preface this a little bit too. I usually take a mug of chocolate milk with me or hot chocolate in the morning. I'm not a coffee drinker.
That's
I'm not a fan of coffee. I like the hot chocolate though because it gives me caffeine still. But this was a warm day. I brought chocolate milk with me. Just something to drink on the ride. Chocolate still gives you caffeine. So wake me up a little bit before I got to work and, stuff my face on breakfast at the calf.
Wake you up before you go.
Wake me up before you go. Anyways, that's going to be an important detail for something else later. So, I'm going, and I take one highway for about 15 or so minutes of driving, and then it merges to another highway. So I have to basically go, it's a left-hand lane exit. It drops from like a 65 mile an hour zone to a 45 mile an hour zone. Well, the difference between leaving at 6, there's like no traffic when I get to that point. When I leave at 6:30, there's a shit ton of traffic when I get to that point. There's a line of cars lining up to go into this exit lane on the other highway. So I'm in the middle lane and not the left lane, and I'm coming up on the exit. It just got me like, I just got to the 1 mile until exit sign. And I'm like, okay, I got to get over. So I speed up a little bit because there's a gap next to me, and I'm a little close to the car I'd be going in front of. So I speed up a little bit. I still have enough room. I merge over. As a habit, whenever I merge over, after I finish the merge, I check my rear view mirror to see what the hell I'm in for.
Right.
I see the guy looking down, and I'm like, ah, shit, what did I just do? But it's okay, because it's still the 65, and it's not super backed up yet. It's a little congested, but it's still moving. So we're coming down to the exit lane. It's just dropped from the 65 to the 45. Car in front of me is starting to slow down and come to a stop because there's just a lot of cars. They're slowing down to about 25, 30 because there's like a tractor trailer in front of them and stuff like that.
Okay.
So naturally, because I do not have any intentions of driving into the car in front of me, I start slowing down. So I'm on the brake, and same thing. When I hit the brake, I look up to my rearview mirror. I see that this guy's looking down again, and I know what's about to happen.
Boom.
It's such a it's such a weird feeling. Like, you've been in a car accident before, right?
I have, yes.
I mean, like where someone has hit your vehicle. Because
yeah.
that's a little bit different. There's just that definitive thud that happens when someone hits your vehicle. Like
Yes.
there's no way to explain it. You just know it's like that's the feeling of a car crash.
Yes.
I see it coming, so I freaking tense up the muscles in my arm. I'm braced on the steering wheel, pushed against my seat, so my head's not gonna bounce or whatever. And it's just thud. Dude looked up just in time to see the back of my car, so he started applying the brakes, but he was still doing like 45 when he hit me. That's not a good time.
No. Were you moving at all?
I was still doing about 30.
Okay.
Actually, I was probably doing about 25 at that time because the car in front of me kind of panic braked a little bit,
Gotcha.
as will happen. So the car in front of me kind of panic braked, so I had to put a little bit more pressure on. At that point, I already knew it was coming, and I was like, well, shit. So I'm braced for impact. He hits me. I got lucky, though, in the fact that since I was slowing down, the back end of my car was coming up a little bit, and since he had just started to slow down, he took an aggressive nosedive.
Mm-hmm.
So overall, my car was not too damaged. There's a gouge. There's a couple of scratches and a gouge in my bumper. There's a gouge in the plastic trim on the top of my bumper that, like, it's kind of like that, the gray plastic trim work that they put going into, like, trunks on hatchback cars.
Oh, yeah.
There's a gouge through that. That's the one that pisses me off, because that's the one that means I need a new bumper.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's just respray the thing. So that happens, and I get out, and the first thing I'm like is, all right, well, I remember from the last accident I got into, let me make sure my trunk still opens.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
That's a big thing. That latch there can get really messed up and just not work. Because the other thing, too, is it's not like an older vehicle where the force on the latch comes from you pulling. It's basically a button in there now, which does a little electric latch.
Right.
So I press the button, it pops open, no problem. I lift open my trunk, and underneath, like, the gap between the bumper and the trunk where there's a little overhang, pieces of his headlight. So at this point, I now turn around and look at his vehicle. I've already called the police at this point. They're on their way. I'm not in the traffic, because we were in the left-hand lane, so I pulled off into the center median to not obstruct everyone else and be a jackass. Because it's freaking morning traffic time. People are trying to get to work. I'm trying not to get in their way. Yeah, I'm trying not to inconvenience other people in the way I've been inconvenienced.
That's nice of you, Griff.
So I turn around and look at his car. His front left headlight is totally shattered. Like, just non-existent. And his front grille is, like, hanging off the car. I'm just like, son of a bitch. And at this point, I'm like, his car looks like that, and I got a couple scratches. Damn, my truck is built like a Sherman. So then it's whatever. We wait for the cops to get there, and cops get here. And this pissed me off. The cop has us move over. The first thing the cop asks is, are you hurt? No, I'm not hurt. I'm probably gonna be
Oh, my
sore
neck.
later. Yeah, right.
Oh,
My neck. Pay my college loans. Like, I was like, I'm probably gonna be sore later, but I was able to get up and walk around, so nothing is like seriously damaged.
right.
He was able to get up and walk around. Nothing was seriously damaged from him. Not that I give a shit. So he has us pull over from the center median to the right-hand breakdown lane. Because
Breakdown.
it's the wide lane, I guess.
Yeah.
You're going to be closer to slower moving traffic as opposed to the high-speed lane. Whatever, for
Makes
whatever reason. I mean, at this point, we were not even in the breakdown lane. Because I drive an SUV, I was just in the grass.
Yeah. Okay.
So, like, we were not blocking the road at all, but he wanted us to move over, so we did. So he comes up and asks for license and registration. I've already dug out my license and registration at this point, so I hand them to him. And he sees I have the vertical license, which means I'm under 21. As soon as he sees the vertical license, he asks me. He changes his tone and he asks, "Did you stop unexpectedly or suddenly?"
Wow.
That pissed me off.
Motherfucker.
I was like, look. My response was, what was my response? I said,
Look.
no, I did not brake suddenly or unexpectedly. I stopped because the vehicle in front of me stopped, and I didn't plan on rear-ending someone today. So I think I got my point across. Because he didn't talk to me until he handed me the accident report. He didn't ask me what happened, and for my side of what happened or nothing. So what I'm assuming went down, because he came to me after the first guy. Well, when I got out of my car and was looking at the damage, the first guy was trying to be friendly. Hope
Okay,
I'm
that-
not... No, the driver who hit me.
Oh, okay.
He was trying to be friendly. He was hoping I wasn't one of those crazy people with a gun and road rage.
Okay, I can see that.
So he was trying to be friendly. And his comment was, I was reaching down for my water bottle and I took my eyes off the road for a second. And
Bullshit.
immediately in my head, I'm like, I had my mug right in my cup holder. I've never hit someone when I went to reach for my mug. Like, my cup holder doesn't move on a daily basis. I know where that thing is. It's to the right of my shifter. I know where my cup holder is. I've never rear-ended someone going for my drink. So I'm assuming he told that same story to the cop and basically just admitted he was at fault. Because he also seemed really panicked after he hit me. Like, I don't think that person was capable of lying to the police. I could be wrong, but, like, it just didn't strike me that way.
Okay.
So now, here's where the story just gets amusing. Actually, I'll make the story amusing in a second. So I drive to work. I get to work late that day. And I'm looking at the back of my car again when I get to work, and I see my receiver I just installed a couple months ago is bent down about 15 degrees and twisted. And not only that, I can see, so he hit my receiver mainly, which is why his car was so messed up and my car didn't give a shit.
Right.
Twisted down my receiver, bent the floor in my trunk. So my car did get more damage than it first appeared. But considering I got hit by someone doing 45, I'm pretty okay with what happened. I was real stiff Monday. Tuesday I woke up and I couldn't barely stand up, so I ended up not going to work Tuesday. By Wednesday I was just really sore, but I was functional again. Like, I'm still pretty sore after yesterday because I was up on Lake Winnipesaukee again yesterday. So I was pretty sore. We'd been planning that before the accident, and I was like, well, I'm not going to ruin this just because some dumbass hit my car.
Right.
So we went up anyways. It was probably a mistake, but my back was freaking hurting. But yeah, so here's where the story gets amusing. Remember I mentioned the cup of chocolate milk?
Yes.
Fucking splattered all over my center command console panel thing in my car. So that night when I got home, I was out there with freaking 97% alcohol and Q-tips tearing apart my dash.
Yeah,
I didn't
'cause
want to
that'd be
deal with that
sticky as
smell.
hell.
And the smell, because it was milk. And it was a
I
hot
didn't
week.
I didn't even think about the smell.
It was a hot week, and it was milk.
Ugh.
So I got that cleaned up. Car is not stinky. But then here's where the story just gets amusing. So the guy gets out of his car to ask if I'm okay, and I just take a look at this guy. He's got
drunk as
like
shit.
no, he's got like a lumberjack beard, button-down flannel shirt, acid wash jean shorts, and flip flops.
It's Kurt Cobain.
And he's on his way to work dressed like this. Must be a software guy. Must be a software guy. But like, so all this on top of it, when I see the accident report afterwards, turns out his first name is Miles with a Y.
Oh my.
I couldn't make that up, man. It was a sight to see. It was a goddamn sight to see.
Well,
And then I get into work after inspecting my car's damage, and it's like 8:15 when I get into work. And my boss looks at me because I had sent an email right after I got hit. I sent an email off to my boss saying, "Hey, I'm going to be late today. I got rear-ended on the way in." He looks at me and he says, "So this is late?" And I said, "Oh, later than I was planning on being here." So he comes over to my desk and he's like, "So tell me, what kind of car did you take out? Do you at least get to put like a fighter pilot badge on your car saying you took out like an Audi or something like that?" I was like, "It was a 2001 Subaru Forester."
yeah, we're not going to advertise that one.
No, there's nothing to be proud of about that. Then, of course, the entire rest of the drive to work, there's this freaking Prius with a dented hood tailgating me, and I'm like, it's going to happen again, isn't it?
Test me. I've already taken out one of your guys. I'll do it again.
I don't give a damn anymore today. Just friggin' hit me and get it over with. So that was the start of my week. Then the end of my week gets even better. So it's Friday. It's Friday. I've been working on this order at work for like a month. And it's finally time. Like, it's going to ship beginning of this upcoming week. So I send it down to the shipping guys so they can pallet or put the cabinets mounted to pallets to actually ship. 3 big server cabinets. So the first 2 come back. They're the expander cabs. They're not the main cab. And basically the way it works is they have casters on the 4 corners. And then outside of the casters, they have little leveling feet, which are basically like a screw foot that goes down to take the weight of it off the wheels when it's actually in its position.
Mm-hmm.
And the way they mount them to the pallets is they have this little bracket that is kind of like a fork on one end and then a hole for a lag bolt to go through on the other end. So basically they put the fork part over the leveling foot and then they drive a lag bolt through the hole, and that's how they mount it down to the skid. So when they're drilling the lag bolt in on all of them, they just drag the drill right down along the side skin of the cabinet and just scratch the paint off. It's like, cut the shit, really? Luckily, one of the guys I work with, he keeps touch-up paint, even though we're not supposed to have it. Because, you know, safety.
Right.
Freaking safety guy. Clipboard warrior jackass. But whatever, so I do the touch-up paint. Now the main cab comes back, and there's scratches on this thing too. Now I'm doing the touch-up, and I look at it. And on the side of the door, they do like this brushed aluminum trim piece on the edge of the door for some reason. There's a big freaking gouge in the brushed aluminum because they hit it with a fork truck. It's like, this is a $2 million order with a pain-in-the-ass customer who, if they see that gouge, legitimately might just return it and say, never mind.
Right.
And you can't take 5 extra seconds to not hit the goddamn thing with the fork.
Apparently not.
So as soon as I get in tomorrow, I'm going to be freaking scrambling to find a door in the warehouse that's in decent shape, replacing the door so we can still ship this damn thing.
Good luck to you, sir.
It's just obnoxious. So that's how my Friday started. And then I left work early Friday. I worked through lunch because I had plans Friday night. So I got out of work at 3 as opposed to 3:30. I think I actually left at 2:45. None of the bosses were in, like, whatever. So I go, and traffic is awful. I left early, and I got home at, like... I left 45 minutes early, and I got home, like, 15 minutes later than usual. It took me, like, 2 hours to get home on Friday.
Wow.
I had basically just enough time to take a shower and then go pick up the person I was going to the movies with. And then this gets even better. The intent
So
was
what
to
movie?
go.
What movie did you go to see?
The intent was to go see Cars 3. It
Okay.
was the day after launch, and it was a Pixar movie, which are always super popular. So I bought my tickets online ahead of time. You know, digital ticket, bring it in. They just scan it when you go and whatever. Well, it's not scanning on my phone. But that's fine. Actually, I'm skipping ahead of myself here. So we go over to the bouncer guy, I guess you could call him, who checks your tickets to let you in to the area which has theaters. And he sees what movie's on the ticket, and he says, okay, that's an Auditorium 8. Well, my ticket says Auditorium 10, and he sees that, and he corrects himself and says Auditorium 10. I'm like, okay, it's Auditorium 10, great. Well, it's not scanning in. So he has another guy bring us over to guest services to actually print out physical tickets. It's not enough, because they have to be sure that we haven't already scanned this ticket in.
Right.
You know, can't get a free movie. You know. So we go over, he gets them printed, and this guy, he doesn't even like scan them in. He literally just rips the tickets in half, gives us each our half of the tickets, and just walks us back over and says, you're good to go. And doesn't say anything else. So I throw the ticket in my pocket. I'm like, first guy told me Auditorium 10. Go. We go, sit in Auditorium 10, find seats, whatever. And it's 6:40. The movie's supposed to start at 6:45. So I'm expecting, you know, previews and whatnot. So I see this thing pop up. It's a thing in a briefcase that says Wayne Enterprises is getting delivered to someone. And it's the person it's getting delivered to is, what's her name, Gal Gadot or whoever it is, the actress that plays Wonder Woman. So I'm like, okay, it's a preview for Wonder Woman because that's out now, and they're probably trying to sell tickets for that. So I'm sitting there and I'm watching the preview, and I know previews usually run till like 10 or 15 minutes after the movie's scheduled to start.
They can, yeah.
Like, so I know that happens, and movies don't actually start on time a lot of the time. But now it's like 7:15, and I'm just sitting there like, this is a long preview. And like,
It's a half-hour preview.
and like the start of, for those of you who have seen Wonder Woman, you can either agree or disagree with me. The start of Wonder Woman kind of feels like it's set up for a movie preview. It kind of feels like it.
Thoughts?
But I'm just like, that's a little bit long for a preview. So I take my ticket out of my pocket, and I'm trying to use the bright scenes from the movie to read the ticket. And I see it says Auditorium 8. And it's at this point, it's like, well, damn. We're already 30 minutes into this, which means we've missed the first half hour of Cars. So it's stupid to go see Cars now. Because we've missed all the opening part, which is the important part. It sets up all your characters.
Right.
But, you know, Wonder Woman was an okay movie anyway. Actually, it was a very good movie. I really liked the movie. It was a good movie. It wasn't Cars 3, but it was a good movie. So that would explain my tweet and my Facebook post about, hey guys, how do you know it's been a long week? When you get 30 minutes into Wonder Woman and go, huh, this isn't Cars 3.
Where's Lightning McQueen?
Yeah, right? Like, at that point, I was basically just like, I'm happy to actually sit down for more than 5 minutes today.
Oh, right? I keep forgetting, yeah.
So I see this part of the ticket, and I turn to the person I'm with, and I show it to her, and I'm like, I'm pointing to it, and she just looks at me, and she's like, you're an idiot. And I'm like, yeah, I am.
Pretty much.
She's like, but this movie's good, so, like, fuck it. And then, of course, the obnoxious thing is, in this theater, there's this group of, like, middle school kids. And they won't shut the hell up. And at one point, one of them turns on, like, the flashlight on their phone, and they're, like, looking around on the ground for something. And they, like, flash it over in my direction, and it catches the corner of my eye. And I'm just like, what the hell? Woman behind me at one point stands up and goes, shh. So, like, as you guys know from watching my videos and these live streams, I'm usually pretty outspoken. But one of my rules is if I'm in a movie theater, I won't say anything to someone who's being obnoxious, because that just adds to the problem.
It can, yeah.
And I just don't want to add to the problem. So I'll usually just not say anything. But, like, I'm guessing this woman must have gone out and complained, because next thing I know, there's a police officer walking into the theater.
Police officer?
This theater's not exactly in the nicest area.
Oh, okay.
So there's just this police officer that just walks in and walks this whole group out.
Sometimes the cops got to get called.
Yeah. And then the movie ends and we're walking by and this group just made the biggest freaking mess.
Of course they
Like, they just dropped a bucket of popcorn on the middle of the floor. And they were in the front row, so it's like right in the walkway at the front of the theater. There's like half a bag of M&Ms on the floor.
did.
Cups and trash and stuff all still in the seats. Like, Jesus. It's like, those are the kind of kids you wish were at the movie with their parents. So you can just look at their parents afterwards and just say, you fucked up. You did a terrible job raising your kids, and you should be ashamed.
And lie naked on the floor.
I mean, I don't know if I'd go that far, but, like, you should at least be ashamed. You can be cold and ashamed.
Yes.
And, I mean, you can do the other part as long as it's not my floor.
And it's not going to be my house because it's damn hot.
Right. You will be hot and shamed lying naked on the floor. Lying naked on the floor.
Sweaty.
Probably in a puddle of your own sweat.
Yes, probably.
Oh, man. So that was my week. It's been just an interesting week. I still can't sit down for more than like an hour without my back hurting. So, videos will be coming back this week. I'm coming off of that hiatus. I probably won't be streaming again yet this week until I can, like, sit down. Like, I'm already getting to a point where I'm feeling like I need to stand up real soon here.
Yeah.
Because it just freaking... And the thing is, like, my car didn't really take any damage, but, like, there's still a lot of energy when you get hit going 45.
Yeah.
And I also screwed myself because I saw it coming, so I, like, braced for impact,
Tense,
so all my muscles tensed up. Which, when your muscles are tense, they can't take as much of a beating as when they're loose.
Yep.
So, like, I friggin' took the hit, man. Oh, I friggin' took that hit. And it sucks. But the appraiser's coming tomorrow to tell me that there's damage to my vehicle. And then I'm going to tell him that, yup, and this is the body shop I'm going to. And, like, frickin' on the phone at work. I'm at work on Friday, already dealing with this mess of an order. And I get a call from my insurance company. It's like, I frickin' told you folks when I'm available to take a call. And you want to call outside of that time.
Of course.
But I answer it, you know. Well, when we registered your claim the other day, the registration information you gave us doesn't match the vehicle that was in the accident. I'm like, well, actually it did. So someone on your end screwed up. They're like, well, you know, do you have the information? I'm like, I'm at work. I don't just keep that on me.
No.
Especially since I told you could call me after I get out of work. Because the first time they even called me about it, they called me at like 6 at night. So clearly they don't just work at 9 to 5.
Right.
So, like, you can call me after I get out of work, clearly, because you have. So I'm like, no, I don't. I can call you back, though. And I give them the license again. They're like, oh, yeah, that one matches. I'm like, yeah, I know it does. It matched the first time, too.
Yes.
And then I'm still waiting on a call back from the person in the medical expenses branch of my insurance company. Because even though I am currently not seeking medical attention, if it flares up to a point where I need to make sure I'm covered for that. Because those expenses should not come out of my pocket because I was not at fault.
Correct.
You know, so that's a thing. And then I got a freaking letter in the mail from the other person's insurance company. Their medical support people want to get in touch with me. And it's like, I'm not talking to them until I talk to my insurance company.
Right.
So I just got to deal with that. And then I have a job app that I really want to hear back about that's been floating for like 3 weeks and no one's contacted me. Even though the job was posted for like 2 months and I'm probably the most qualified applicant they received. So, you know, why get back in touch with me? Robotics engineering position, and I have multiple certifications in industrial robotics, experience in robotic system design for 10 plus years. You know, world champion in competitive robotics. Asking for way less than anyone who went to a real engineering school would be asking for, because I don't have a house payment for a freaking college loan to pay back. So I don't
Right.
need to be making $120,000 a year just to barely live because I didn't pay $250,000 to go to school.
Right. That'll
You
help.
know, I can get by. I can, in fact, I can more than get by on 60,000 a year. I've been doing it for years now. You know, I've been getting by on working 3 part-time jobs while going to school. Oh, and
Yes,
then,
you have.
you know, and that just reminded me of something. I was talking to Tim about this yesterday or the day before. No, yesterday or Thursday or something. Saw this map, and just me personally, it pissed me off. It was this map of the amount of minimum wage hours in a state on average it took to pay for an apartment a month. And it's talking about, like, you know, most state, the average is like 68 hours a week on minimum wage. Like my state's like 80 something hours a week. And they're talking about how Hawaii's like 126 hours a week you'd have to work at minimum wage to afford an apartment. And I'm just sitting there like, okay, 80, 90-hour work week, been there, done that for the past 3 years while I've worked 3 jobs while being a full-time student. If all you can get is a minimum wage job, you know, the article with the map is talking about how disgusting this is, and they really should raise the national minimum wage to $15 an hour, and it's like that doesn't fix the problem. Because when you
Right.
hike minimum wage, here's what happens. Either costs of the things you're purchasing are going to go up because they now cost more to make, or there's going to be less jobs because they're going to outsource everything to China because it's cheaper.
Right. Yes.
Because here's the thing. If minimum wage gets increased to 15 or 16 an hour or whatever the hell they're pushing for and got shut down on finally, there's a big effect here. Publicly traded companies, when minimum wage becomes that high, they're actually almost forced to outsource. What the hell's Harley doing over there?
That's not Harley. That's Xander.
Oh.
Me and Harlan.
But it's like publicly traded companies have a responsibility to their shareholders to actually legally they have to provide value to their shareholders. And they can't do it when their person pushing buttons on the assembly line's making $15 an hour.
Right.
So they're like legally obligated to then push jobs offshore.
Of course, their CEO could stop giving themselves, $6 million bonuses, but
I mean,
that's
yes,
something completely different.
right. But I guess my point is too, raising minimum wage doesn't fix the problems. It just creates new ones.
Right.
If people thought it was hard to get a job now,
Yeah, I'm not sure what the answer is.
there isn't a good answer.
No.
You know, the good answer is, potentially don't have CEOs giving themselves $6 million bonuses.
That would help.
That would certainly be great. Companies could do a lot more with an extra $6 million in their budget. But I get the CEO's perspective. That $1 million a year salary, Tim, that's just not enough.
Well, no.
Like, especially when you're a big company like New York or California and you got that $1 million penthouse, like you need more than $1 million a year to live in $1 million penthouse. Then you want to
'cause
drive
got
that,
4 penthouses.
and then you want to drive that $200,000 car, and you have like 7 of those.
Yeah.
And you got to make sure your wife is always looking just the best in, the Gucci or the Prada or the Armani or, you
Of
can't. And then you got to have like, that big ass $100,000 watch or whatever, and that nice suit that costs 25 grand. And, you can't be showing up as a CEO in jeans and a t-shirt.
No.
I mean, that's how our CEO dresses, but
Right.
our CEO goes to company events in a t-shirt and freaking basketball shorts.
That's sweet.
And if by some stroke of dumb luck Big Box ever becomes a company, that's exactly what that CEO is going to keep wearing, is freaking t-shirts and jeans.
Stay one with the people, Greg.
No change there. But it drives me freaking bonkers, It's like, you want to complain about you can't afford to live on a minimum wage job, get another one. Work more than one minimum wage job. Or work a entry-level job that really doesn't require much skill, that pays more than minimum wage. Even when I was a high schooler or a college student, working damn basic jobs, I never made minimum wage. I always made more than minimum wage. The last time I made minimum wage was when I was between my frickin' freshman and sophomore year of high school.
Wow.
And, like, you know, I'm a community college graduate. I'm not special.
You're not from Harvard?
No, I should have gone to Harvard, though, to drop out, because apparently that's how you become a millionaire. That's how you create Facebook. You're a Harvard dropout. Or Microsoft.
go.
You're a I don't remember what school Bill Gates dropped out of. I think it was Harvard, too.
Helps to be smart.
Yeah, there you go, guys. Be just smart enough to get into Harvard, and then even smarter to drop out and create a successful company.
Right?
That's what I've done wrong. Or you can just do what Tim and I will be doing in 5 years. Herd camels in Africa.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Because I love the heat.
Yes, Tim is a fan of the hot
natural.
things, so we're going to herd camels in Africa.
Perfect fit for me to go to Africa.
Because he misses the plains down in Africa.
Yes. I miss the rains. Rains.
And the plains.
The plane, boss. The plane.
The plane! Alright,
On that note,
we did just hit 46 minutes. I'd call that a successful show.
I would.
I think we should wrap this bad boy up.
I would agree.
Wrap it up so you don't make mistakes happen. See you guys
That is
in the
excellent.
next one.
Yes. On
Bye.
this Father's Day.
Yes,
That is-
happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there.
Yes.
Peace out later. See ya.